People sometimes ask me why I talk so much about biblical manhood, about what it means to be a man according to the Bible. Well, let me put it this way. I don't know if it'll translate into another language, but I'll put it this way. My wife says that if a man-eating lion escaped from the zoo, it would probably starve to death because there's not enough men in this world to eat. So one of the reasons I teach on biblical manhood is because it's something that's lost. It's something that's lost. Oh, there's a lot of definitions about what it means to be a man. Sports has a definition about what it means to be a man. Hollywood has a definition about what it means to a man. Feminists have a definition about what it means to be a man. But we're Christians, so we need to ask ourselves, what does God say about being a man? Of course, when we look at the Scriptures, as Christians, we know that the perfect example of manhood is not some boxer in a ring, and it's not some football player. It's not a movie star. It's Jesus Christ, the only perfect man that ever walked on this planet. So when I'm teaching on biblical manhood, I'm not trying to teach a bunch of young men how to be tough and beat up people. I'm also not trying to teach them to be feminine. I'm trying to teach them to be like Christ. You see, God created this world. God also set the order for this world. He created a man. He created a woman. We also see throughout Scripture that He gave different roles to men and different roles to women. Also, there are different virtues that are outstanding in men and others that are outstanding in women. Also, He tells us how we are to interact as men with men and men with women, as older men with younger men and younger girls, fathers with children, husbands with wives. He's told us in the Scriptures how we ought to be and how we ought to act, and that has been lost. Most of the young men growing up in our churches are not influenced by the Scriptures with regard to manhood, but they are influenced by the secular world. And most young men really do not have a role model as a father. Even if their father is a good man, oftentimes he is so busy doing other things. His work, maybe his hobbies, maybe even church. He's doing so many things that he doesn't have time to fulfill the biblical requirements of a father. And so I teach on biblical manhood simply because so few people are doing it. And it is an important theme in the Bible. I have 2 sons. So from the time that they were young, they're now 9 and 11, but from the time that they were just little children, I began to teach them about what it means to be a noble, virtuous, godly man. I'm also, even though I quite often fail, I'm trying to model that for them. And not only for my sons, but also for my daughter. Because one day my daughter is probably going to marry. She's going to find someone, or someone is going to find her. God's going to bring her together with someone else who's a young man. I want her to have a proper understanding of what a man must be like to be a biblical husband. So I consider this very, very important, extremely important, especially in light of everything that we're seeing today in our world. Do you realize that our entire world is shifting? Ideas are shifting. Culture is shifting. And many of these shifts are not in agreement with the Scriptures, but actually oppose the Scriptures and are aggressive against the Scriptures. If we're going to be biblical, we can't expect the world to teach us how to think and how to act. We must go to the Scriptures.